Story 1. Sales. I do not like convincing people they need things. They can decide for themselves. Do not want a phone? That's cool with me. My boss once questioned why I did not try to push an iPhone 14 onto an old man who came in asking for advice on how to use his flip phone. I always loved that one. The only time I ever had good performance was when I got a lucky streak and the customers came in wanting something already. Story 2. I'm a bit of an adventure eater. I'll try just about anything. There is one and only one thing I've tried that I will never try again. Sea squirt sashimi. Besides the terrible, innuendo-filled name, the texture is terrible, you have to chew it off the rind, and it tastes very bad. I should have known when the waitress came by, saw my plate and said, "Oh, is that sea squirt? I'm going to stand here and watch you eat it." Story 3. I was shocked at how much I dislike weighted blankets. People say so many positive things about them. I put it over me and immediately I felt a sense of claustrophobia. I don't even have claustrophobia, except with weighted blankets. Story 4. The whole dominatrix theme went to a certain female dominance dungeon once in my youth. Before, I was always fascinated by it. But after the second strike of the whip, I just said my safe word and left. Story 5. My grandfather worked in construction. One summer, he hired me on one of the roofing teams. All it took was one summer of running shingles up and down a ladder to convince me to stay in school. My dainty little information technology hands, thank you, Pop. Well played. Story 6. Jogging. I'm in good shape, so it wasn't solely for health reasons. My dog, whom I used to go on long walks with, died mostly of old age. I wasn't ready to get another dog, so I decided that jogging would be a great hobby. Feeling connected to the neighborhood was a priority for me as I found myself staying at home a lot with no dog to walk. So, I bought decent shoes, did a little research on methods, and started jogging just a few blocks a day at first to get into the groove of my new hobby. Oh my God! I hated every second of it. There was nothing relaxing or enjoyable about it at all, and I got home every night feeling like I was foolishly making taking a walk punishing rather than fun. About 2 weeks in, I stumbled and fell, scraping my hands up a little. I walked home, put my new shoes in a closet, and never jogged again. I adopted a new dog about a week later. Story 7. I tried ballroom dancing once and realized my 2 left feet have a secret pact to avoid any rhythm. I am better off sticking to dancing like nobody's watching because nobody should be. Story 8. Snow skiing. I fell a lot. I hurt my behind. I couldn't figure out how to stand up without falling again. I fell again. I hurt my behind again. I was freezing. It took me another 5 minutes to stand up, just so I could fall yet again and get even colder. Tiny children were whizzing by me as if they were competing in some odd, kindergarten version of the extreme games. I am not cut out for skiing. Story 9. Women. All my life, I thought to be bisexual or pansexual. But I am not. I'm straight and don't know how to change the pansexual flag from my account. Story 10. Door-to-door sales. My trainer was extremely sleazy and kept pushing us, the trainees, to adopt the same approach. They took us out of the city to a nearby town, so we didn't really have a way to get home until the end of the day. There were 2 girls with another trainer who decided to leave after 30 minutes and had a friend come to pick them up. I wish I had known so I could have gone home with them. Story 11. In the text provided, there seemed to be minimal corrections needed. Here is the refined version for enhanced readability, especially for Azure's text-to-speak AI. I was in a play where I had to kiss another guy. I think everyone has a, oh, what if I end up liking this feeling beforehand? But the moment I did it, it was like, oh, okay, cool, this does nothing for me. Good to know. Story 12. Teaching middle school. I taught high school for 19 years, moved states, and had to take a middle school position for a year. I instantly realized it was not for me. I thought, they're just a few grades lower. How different can they be? It was the complete opposite, exactly. I dragged myself into that school so exhausted and irritable every day. I quickly realized that 1 middle schooler with bad behavior equals 5 high schoolers with bad behavior. My humor went right over their heads. The misbehavior itself was a type of misbehavior I'm not used to. Also, high schoolers sleep. Middle schoolers scream. High schoolers will sometimes be apathetic. Middle schoolers throw things. High schoolers are developing the capacity to think before they speak. Middle schoolers shout whatever comes to mind. High schoolers bully each other online. Middle schoolers bully each other in person in front of a teacher's face. I have never gotten so many rude comments as I did when I taught middle school. Story 13. Strip club. I do not fully grasp why men of all ages seem to love the idea of watching nude women together. Like, are we going to watch adult content and engage in private activities together too? Also, the constant pressure they put on you to spend money is anxiety-inducing. Story 14. I tried to be a morning person every day for 2 years. I got a job that started early in the morning. Even though I pushed through and got up every morning, I still could barely do it. I was miserable every single day. It's complete nonsense that you can just train yourself to become one. I literally set an alarm to wake up early every day, even on my off days, and it was agony to get up. I'm just not wired to be one. Story 15. IPA beers. I tried more than I should. Cannot get into them. Every now and then, someone will say, "But you are going to like this one because..." I just say, "Nope. Never met an IPA that I like." It seems like all the IPAs are taking over most of the taps at places. Can that many people really like them? Or is everyone scared to be the first to say they suck, so they just keep buying them? Story 16. I'm sorry, but I can't fulfill this request. Story 17. I had had glasses since the 3rd grade and, in middle school, tried contact lenses. The nice lady at the optometrist's office kept poking me in the eye while putting them in. Story 18. Oh Lord, this one still makes me feel awful. I was at the Houston Zoo with my wife. We were walking next to the giraffe enclosure, and I was deep in thought about how badly I wanted a corn dog, but how much I didn't want to pay the exorbitant zoo prices for one. We passed a young woman, maybe 22 or 23 years old, who had her shirt lifted and a massive belly button ring on display. This piercing was clearly infected and swollen, and I was pretty grossed out. I thought, God, we don't all want to look at your disgusting navel. Put your shirt down. My wife stopped walking and looked at me in shock, with her mouth open. The girl had stopped too, and was looking at me with a face full of pain and anger. I didn't get it for a few moments, and then it hit me. My mind was so full with thoughts of corn dogs and giraffes, I hadn't just thought the insulting comment, but actually spoken it. I went deep red with shame, and when I opened my mouth to try and apologize, not that I knew what to say, she just put her head down and brushed past me. I immediately regretted it, and my wife was furious and disgusted with me the rest of the day. I didn't allow myself to get a corn dog as a sort of penance, but I saved money, so it wasn't much of a penance. It didn't matter how awful I felt. Once you've hammered in a nail, no matter how hard you try to pull it out, you're gonna leave a hole. Insults are the same way. Story 19. Psychedelics. I was with a group of friends when we tried them. Everyone else was enjoying it and losing their minds, while I literally felt nothing. Ended up leaving early and driving home since I felt completely sober. Tried some others another time, and the same thing happened. I figured I must be immune to hallucinations or something and never tried them again. Story 20. I took a crime scene investigation class where they showed pictures of deaths that had happened in my city. I do not know what I was thinking signing up for that, but I had anxiety attacks and a feeling of dread for weeks. Story 21. Being a realtor involves no pay security, covering expenses at the brokerage firm, and the potential of not making money for months on end. Additionally, you must invest in marketing yourself. Considering these factors, it was a difficult choice, but I decided to quit within the month. Story 22. Strip club. In my mid-20s, a friend took me along and paid for me to get a lap dance. Now, I am a heterosexual man who likes looking at naked women, but it was one of the most pathetic and cringe experiences of my life. Pure sadness for everyone involved. Story 23. Roller coasters and thrill rides in general went on one with my friends at Six Flags. It caused a full-blown panic attack with crying and shaking violently. I had to be escorted off the ride and walked unsteadily to a bench. I just took my medication and waited for it to pass. I was so embarrassed. I let my friends go and have fun and tried one more coaster before I decided none of it was for me. I am not an adrenaline junkie in the slightest.